Hello and welcome to lesson 5 of the online Revit course. Previously, we did this little house model where we started off by creating the levels, created the walls and edited them, created floors, put the doors and the windows and railings, then stairs. So now in this lesson, we are going to go ahead to create the roof, the ceiling, and we are going to add major components into the model like beds, chairs, sofa, tables, and the likes. If possible, we would also model some parts of the site. Just to a quick reminder, we've been using this. This is the drawing, and that's what we are going to continue to use. So let's get started. So first off, to input components to the model, you come to your lowest level or the floor level, that's NGL, and you select components. In this drop down menu, there are various ways to add components to your drawing. You can either place already existing components or you model your components. But what we are doing is to place a component like sofa, chairs, beds, tables, and the likes. So click on place components and come down here. Click on this drop down menu, you are going to see several components that has been loaded into Revit. But if you don't have, if you can't find all of this, I actually loaded this in before the class. Or if you don't have this, you can download them online. Go to Revit City and you can download all the type of furnitures that you need. You can also load them. When you download them, you just come here, load family, and go to wherever you saved those components, and you load them in. So now I've loaded all of this in already, so I'm gonna start with the sofa. Place that here, maybe a little chair design, then probably a center table, the coffee table, then I can load in the TV console. You use space bar to rotate them as you load them in. This is quite a heavy file, that's why it keeps moving. So let's continue. Let's load in the bedside table. I think I can put another one here. The bed. This one side should be fine. So instead of, since I have another bedroom here, let me just copy this tray. Then I can use this mirror draw axis, or I can use this mirror pick axis, either ways. If I use mirror draw axis, it means I'm gonna draw where I want the object to be mirrored at. Look at that. Now I've selected the components. I clicked mirror draw axis. I want the center of this. You can see. Likewise, if I pick mirror pick axis, that means there is an axis where I would like to pick. Because there is nothing here that I can pick, that's why I prefer to use the mirror draw axis. If I delete this and I have to first create a model line to serve as my axis, then I can select the component and pick mirror pick axis. Now I would use this axis. That's it. So that's how the mirror tool works. And then delete this line. So now let's look for the toilets WC. Use the space bar to rotate your components. There is a vanity here. And so on. So that's basically how to, okay, the kitchen. Let's use the model line to draw the kitchen cabinet, about 600 by 600. Now we have the kitchen, and since this is just a little house, let's move some furniture down so that we can have this little space to serve as the island and dining. This here. Similar, then 600 for the island. Then I can bring in a stool. So this can serve as the dining. Let's this dimension. Select this and close similar instead of going back to components. So yeah. So here is the dining, and here would serve as the kitchen. Let's see the space within it. I think this is too short. 800 is too short. Let me just select all of this and move it by 100. 900 should be okay. 900 should be okay. Spacing between here and here is 900. That should be okay. Using anthropometrics. So let me check if I can get kitchen sink. So component, here is a top. I can place that here. Then the kitchen sink. So that's how components are being put in Revit. So let's see how that looks. Yeah. So this is what we have created. These are just lines, that is why they are not showing. But you know, on the NGL, since we are not modeling interior, we are not going to model that. That will be in another lesson. But on the NGL, it shows as if there are cabinets there. So that's basically what we need now. So moving on, we are going to create the roof. So how do you create the roof? Come to south first so that you can know the level where you want your roof to be. We want the roof to be on level 2 at this height. Let's check the roofing style that was used in the drawing. So this is the roofing style that was, it's just a simple roof sloping down to the back. Let's do that. Now come to, since we know that the roof is going to be on level 2, open level 2, come to level 2, come to under architecture tab, come to roof. After selecting roof, let's use pick lines. You can as well use draw line. Let me use all of it so that you can see. If I pick this draw line and I want the roof to have an overhang of about probably 750, because the overhang they use there is quite large. Looking at this, this is very, this is even reaching up to 900, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, so let's just use 750 for the overhang. Going back to Revit, that means after picking the line, I would select offset and I'll type 750 mm. Then as I draw, you can see the offset is, I'm drawing on the wall, but it is automatically giving it an offset. So if I draw all around, it's going to offset everything all around. Yeah. Then I can use this trim extend to extend and trim them together. So now this is the roof, and this little slope here shows that each of the roof is sloping by 30 degrees. Each of these sides, they are sloping by 30 degrees. What that means is that this is definitely an equal. All of these sides will slope by 30 degrees. If I check this, would you like to attach the highlighted ones to the roof? Let's say attach, then come to 3D. You're going to see that they are all sloping, but this is not the type of roof that was used in the drawing. The type of roof used is a flat roof sloping backward. So now select the roof and come back to level 2, edit footprint, uncheck these 3, remove the divine slope, uncheck them, because the roof is sloping backward. So it's just this side that has a slope, and the slope, let's use about, if I use 30 degree slope, you are going to see how it will look. It will be so high. So I would prefer to use a very small slope. If I check this, look at it in the 3D, you can see how high this is. So I don't need it to be this high. I can decide to use a very low slope, like probably 5 degrees. This is how it looks. Yeah, even lower, maybe 3. So now this roof is quite thick. Let's select it and edit type. Coming to edit type, duplicate. Don't forget to duplicate and rename that to roof. Okay, the thickness is not more than 1.5 to 2 mm, not even up to 2 mm. Let's just use maybe 5 mm. This is just a drawing. So this is the roof. This is how it slopes even in the drawing, but in the drawing they have something like a roof facial. It is either we use a roof facial or we go to our component in place, model in place, and create exactly how they do this. So we are going to be using model in place, but I will first show you how to automatically create roof facial from Revit. Now from this, now you can just come, you can do that on 3D, you can do that on level 2. If I do that on 3D, come to roof, then select roof facial, edit type. There are several profiles that is available in the model, so let's pick this one. You can as well change the material, then okay, then click each edge. You can see it brought it painted the edges blue. If I click on it, if I put my mouse on it, it will paint it blue. That means it's ready to click. So click on this all round. Click on this, then this. So that's how to easily place facial on the roof. Now, this is not the type of facial that was used. Like I said, they use something like this. So how do we create this? Delete this one. Delete that. You don't want that. Now go to level 2. This is the roof that has been created. Now on this level 2, under architecture tab, select this drop down of components that we are going to model in place. Model that in place. Then come to casework, or you cannot as well use generic models. Okay, then you can decide to rename that as probably anything, or just leave it as it is, generic model 1. Now come to sweep. We are going to use sweep to sweep all around, because we are going to create a profile, and it is that this is the profile we are creating. We are going to create this profile, this design, the recess and all of that, and it is this profile that is going to sweep all around the roof. That's why we selected sweep. So now let's select sweep, and we are going to sketch the path where the sweep will go. Let's use this lines. So pick this edge as the first. Pick this edge, pick this edge, pick this edge, pick this edge. So mark that, then edit profile. It will take you to a proper view where you can be able to edit the profile, probably the east, probably the south, I mean. So it's either you edit it from the north or you edit it from the south. So now you can see this is the roof, and starting from this cross, starting from this end point, just select that. Then let's draw our profile. Maybe let's make that 400. I hope 400 is not too high. Let's make that 350. Control Z to go back. Let's make that 350. So let's use 350 mm. Enter. Then probably the thickness should be about 40 mm. Come down this as it is in the drawing. So make sure there is no a line intersecting each other. Everything are in closed loop. Then mark that. Sorry, check that twice. So 3D, you can see that the sweep went all around level 2 because we used level 2 for it. Now to adjust that, come to any proper elevation where you can see that, then rotate it using the angle of the roof. I think we use 3 mm for the roof, so type in 3. So that's it. So now let's move this a bit down so it won't cover the roof. Yeah, so it won't cover the roof. Come to 3D and we have this, check that and that up. So that we have successfully created the roof. We have created the facial. Their facial is even, we have created the facial. Now to the ceiling. Let's create the ceiling, because obviously we are just looking into the roof. Here is the roof, and there should be a ceiling here. Now to create this ceiling, it would not, to create the ceiling from inside the house would be a bit different from how we are going to create the ceiling outside, because the ceiling outside is sloping. Look at the image, it is sloping following the angle of the roof, unlike that of the ceiling we are going to be creating inside, that is just a straight, straight ahead. So let's first create the interior ceiling, then we create the one outside. So come to NGL, under ceiling plans in the project browser, come to ceiling plans, then NGL. So here is where we are going to be creating the ceiling. Now first thing to do is come to architecture and select this ceiling. We have a compound ceiling plane, we have other types of ceiling, the 600 by 600 mm grid, then the 600 by 12 mm grid. So we can, let's just use this one. You can either automatically select the ceiling and it will place it for you, or you can sketch it out yourself. So I just select it automatically. See, ceilings have been placed at what height? 2600 mm. I can decide to change that to, maybe I want the height of my ceiling to be 3 meters, since my building is 3.6 high. So 3D, I have the ceiling. If I put this visual style to wireframe, here is the ceilings. So here is the ceilings of the building. See that? So the ceilings have been placed at each wall. Now return that to shaded. Now to do the ceiling outside, so come to, let's use the we can use either of the elevations, we can use the front, you can use anyone, but let's use the east elevation. It's better when you use the east or the west elevation because of the slope. You want to do a slopy ceiling, so it is better to use an elevation of where the slope can be felt more. If I use the front elevation, the slope would not even show, it will just come as a straight line. So I won't even be able to do it, to just be straight, just like the one I finished in the interior. But when I select an elevation where the slope can be felt, that's how I can be able to create the ceiling. Now selecting this elevation, I would come to, let's use this, we are on the 3D view, so let's use the east elevation. Now I will come to components, model in place. I want to model the ceiling instead of creating them automatically. So I will select ceilings. Okay, ceiling 1, I'm fine with that. So then I will use extrusion to create it. So once I select extrusion, it will ask me to pick a plane where the ceiling is going to start from. If I pick, I will say okay. So let me pick this wall as my plane. This wall, just over your mouse around the center, but most likely the edges of the component you want to pick, so that you can easily pick them. So I've picked this wall. You can know that it is the wall as it is written, walls basic wall. So I've picked that, and now I can draw out how I want the ceiling to be. So let me just pick a line. I want to use this as my reference line, so I can offset that by probably 15 mm. So offset that, and the thickness of my ceiling can be maybe 20 mm. Yeah. So draw out the line. I don't need an offset for this one. Delete this, or you can still pick this line and do chamfer. But instead of that, this might probably show during rendering, so push the line inward, and do the same for this side. Draw the line and push that in, so it won't show when you are doing that. Now I've sketched how I want the ceiling to go. So I can change the material here, and it is asking me extrusion start and extrusion end. Extrusion start and extrusion end mean, this extrusion start means from the plane I selected, the extrusion start at that plane 0 when it is at 0. But if I choose minus, the extrusion will go inside the plane. So this extrusion end means the extrusion will end 250 mm from that plane I selected as my work plane. So how do I want the roof to go? I want the roof to go into the building, to the other side, to this 3D. Looking at the 3D, I drill, the extrusion is starting from here, so I want it to go, and I pick this wall as my plane. I want the ceiling to go in. That means I have to type in minus something. I hope you get that. So I have to type in minus, so assuming I want the ceiling to come out here, so I have to type in, what I will be typing in will be a positive value, but because I'm going backwards from the plane, I have to type in minus something. But actually I don't even know the distance from this my work plane to this wall, except if I'm gonna guess. So instead of guessing, I'll just leave it as it is. I would mark, and my extrusion has been created. So I will come to this south. This is the ceiling that has been created. I don't want it to be this tall. Sorry, that's a mistake. Yeah, that's how it's going to be. It's not tall, it is the slope. So from the south it would look as if it is tall. So I'm just going to drag the ceiling all the way. Make sure you select the right arrow. Drag it all the way to the other end. So that has been dragged. Then this little one, that's the 250, that you can see that, the distance between here and here is minus something. So this little one, I will drag that to the end of the roof. No, I will drag that to reach the roof as well. So checking that in 3D, I can see my ceiling has been created. So this is the ceiling. I used the extrusion to create the ceiling from coming to, so I have to mark, of course. So the ceiling, let me put this to hidden line. So it can be promised. The ceiling has been created. I think shaded is even better. Yeah. So what I did, I came to architecture, components, model in place. I selected ceilings, then I modeled it. So that's how ceilings are modeled when you have a slopy ceiling. When you have a slopy ceiling are easily modeled. This is the interior ceiling we did the other time. You can see that it is already showing inside of the building. So that is how ceilings are created. So as not for the lesson to be too long, we are going to continue the site in the next video. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next one.